So joining us this evening, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce Dan Zremiak. He is going to be talking on the subject of ASQ membership and discussing with you, sharing with you the opportunities and the benefits of moving up in your membership status and sustaining the gains and evolving your professionalism. So a little bit about Dan. He is currently a project manager at RST Instruments, based in British Columbia. Dan has well over 2 decades of international experience in quality and project management, primarily in information technology, operational excellence, and consulting. Dan holds a bachelor's degree of commerce with honors in marketing from the University of Saskatchewan. He's also an ASQ fellow and has been awarded ASQ's Feigenbaum and Crosby medals, as well as a testimonial award. Dan is certified by ASQ as a Certified Manager of Quality and Organizational Excellence, a Six Sigma Black Belt, a SQE, and a CQE, so a software quality engineer and a quality engineer, and has multiple auditor credentials as well, including PMI as a PMP. And he also holds a Scrum Master designation. Dan is a Quality Press author and reviewer, committee chair for the ASQ Edwards Medal, and remains active with the Quality Management Division as a member leader of that member unit. So please join me in welcoming Dan to our section meeting this evening. He'll be talking about the ASQ professional member and how to enhance your experience. You can read for yourself. The win for us, the section, is that it's been proven with facts and data that the more an individual elevates up from a student to a full professional to a senior to a fellow, you gain out of it, as well as the member unit. We see increased retention rates, and growth is what we're all about. In fact, that's our #1 strategic intent this year, is to grow our membership, because unfortunately, we, just like all of ASQ, quite frankly, we do see our membership numbers trending down, and we'd like to do whatever we can to change the trajectory of that trend and start growing again. So obviously it means becoming more visible to the C-suite and having our members become more active as well, and giving word of mouth testimony. So with that, I'd like to turn the microphone over to Dan, and welcome.
Thank you. I will should have my are you able to see the presentation?
Yep, it's up there.
Okay, then yeah,
Thank
this
you.
is membership Excel. So Excel can be short for excellence. It could be extra large. You brought up the upcoming conference, and I've had the pleasure to be at that particular hotel at the Point Cliffs Hilton. And I like to use this as an analogy. Imagine we're all checked in at the hotel and we're all charged the same room rate, $169 a night. All right. Now, some of you might come in and you get your $169 and you get, twin beds and a bathroom and, a closet. And for my $169, I'm getting a full suite with a kitchen and concierge service, a balcony and extra space and a loft. And you're wondering, we're paying the same price. How come my benefits are so much better than yours? This is what I want to try to do with this presentation, because the ASQ dues are $169. So how do we stretch out, expand, and extend the benefits? And I think as more people know this and know the benefits, that will help with retain and long-term continuity. In short, I'm not doing this for altruistic reasons. I'm really doing this to help you as members get as much opportunity as you can to get the full benefit and member value. So coming up with the 4 things: affiliation, so joining different groups; qualifications, which can come in various forms, and then your personal portfolio will touch on the recertification as well. The membership upgrades, just like if you're in a hotel, if you're like a gold, silver member and you get better free breakfast or a room upgrade, ASQ has membership upgrades, which offer unlock, just like once you're at a higher level, you unlock certain perks. And then, of course, recognizing and mentoring others, which ultimately is where we want to lead ourselves. So being able to do this, the pathway, making sure that we align what we want with what we're doing. And coming back to the volunteering, Bob made a very good plea for people to come in and support. I think if you're doing something you enjoy, it's not work. It's just an extension. And if you're doing it with people that you want to be around, like-minded people, it becomes a very pleasant experience. So in addition to this, some of the items that come with this and the reason where that member value can be tangible, you get one option is you get a complimentary journal subscription. I've been getting this for almost 20 years. So to me, it's normal. It's just like in addition to your quality progress, you can select from a number of other quality journals. The higher retention rates, as was mentioned, because that leads to continuity, predictability, and stability. And then eligibility for doing more within ASQ. So return on investment, if you think of your dues and your time as an investment, and then every year you say, what am I getting out of this? Ultimately, you want this to be higher and more valuable than what you're putting in. So this is good individually, and then as sections and divisions do this to support senior members, that helps build a stronger, more vibrant team. So leveling up, what we really want to do is increasing the vitality and long-term stability. We have to build our grassroots, build from within. We have to look at our current opportunities within our current team and see how we can collectively get more in support of each other. So first of all, the baseline, the professional membership offering is already very cost effective and competitive when you use it. And I'm referring to the individual membership. I don't profess to have any expertise in the organizational membership or anything that ASQE offers. So ASQ is an individual membership association. It's for professional networking, and that's the global scope. I'm joining from Canada. I saw on the thing on the chat there are people from other countries and continents, and it's quite remarkable just how we can all come together. Discounts on training. If you're going to get the training anyways, why pay full price? Why pay rack rate? You can get the membership, and quite often the discount alone will more than justify what you're spending. And especially with things like conferences, even a modest discount, when you compare that to your dues, you can recoup the value very quickly. I've enjoyed the access to the online and published content, and I don't think people fully appreciate that all of the journals, when you're a professional member, once they hit a certain age, I think once the journals are 3 years online, you should be able to have access to much more of them. Even if you're charged, they have a member discount on what they're charged. So, but there's no shortage of content that you can get. And then news and issues, best practices. I find that the monthly member gifts especially, they hone in on a particular theme. And if you're interested in anything within that theme, there's a breadth of information. So the theme in this presentation is about your levels. So starting with the baseline of a professional member, that is already a good value, but how can you extend from it? And one way is affiliations. We are in the best era of ASQ's history in terms of affiliating for 2 reasons. First of all, of the 26 technical communities, a few years ago, even at $10 per joining fee, it was very easy to make your $10 back, especially if you went to the conferences and I've got a cabinet full of coffee mugs and things from each of these that were giveaways. So you can make your $10 just on those alone. But when you affiliate with one of the technical communities, like the software division, the quality division, statistics, you get access to their content. Statistics division is a very good example. If you're in anything that needs guidance or instruction, the statistics division has many resources for tutorials, training, not just for the test, but beyond, going levels beyond to understand some advanced concepts. And so it's complementary with this. Also, if you're part of any committees, there's no charge to join a committee. I made the point as well, in our COVID era, when we are connected to our sections virtually, anything from a computer out is local. So it is very feasible for me, even though I live in Surrey, British Columbia, which is just outside of Vancouver, I could affiliate with any section, and by connecting virtually, partake in any of their programs. And in fact, I've done this for the last several years. So it's a great way to, again, hone in and orient yourself towards groups where you have a like-minded mentality. If a section has good programs, good people, then that really helps with the networking, which is part of the membership experience. Qualifications and certifications are kind of the most prominent ones, but there's also others. The specialized credentials, various training courses. So if you have these, in order to recertify, you have to have your personal portfolio. And this is where, I've got the link in here for renewing online. It is very convenient. So for example, if any of you are already certified, when you get the notification of your attendance of this meeting, you can wait a day, because you have to do things in the past tense on that day, and then upload that into your recertification journal, and it's tracked. So you do it in real time, and it stays tracked, and it's a combination of not just your meetings you attend, but any committees you're with, what you're doing in terms of your work, if you're teaching or studying, taking new certifications. Ultimately, it builds up your portfolio. So as you renew certifications, this carries on year over year, and pretty soon you realize that even though it's incremental steps, you're working towards a very impressive professional trajectory. Senior membership. Some of you may already be senior members, and so I'm preaching to the converted. ASQ has a membership upgrade called Senior Member available to professional members who've been in ASQ for a minimum of 1 year, who've got 10 years of professional experience, and there's some other criteria. So particularly if you have a renewable ASQ certification, that's one way that it fulfills. I provided the link as well in this, and I shared my presentation, so these links should be active. But it's important. When you get this, there is no additional cost to you, and there's no waiting period. It used to have a form. You used to have to get 2 or 3 people to vouch in your behalf that you've met this. Now it's a self-declaration, self-verification. And once you qualify, I believe it takes effect as soon as it's approved. So there might be some processing or administration time, but we're at February 10th. Let's say you did it February 11th. Probably by March 1st, you would be carry on as a senior member. I've heard that people once they're accepted, it takes effect right away. Additional perks and benefits. You have options that you can either join an additional section at ASQ covers the cost of that, which is good. It's a good way to expand your affiliation. Or if you like to read, you get subscription to a journal. I personally subscribe to the Lean Six Sigma Review, which I find to be a very interesting magazine. In the past, I've gone all over. Like I've subscribed to the software one, the quality management one. So there's a range to choose from. And if you notice, next time you read Quality Progress, look at the author byline and see how many of those authors describe themselves as senior members. I'm not saying it's a requirement to be an author, but quite often having that extra little prefix could help get your article published. It could help getting a speaking thing. It's a differentiator, and the ratio is about 1 in 5. So if you think of the 2080 rule, you by being a senior member, you've already put yourself in the top 20% of ASQ. So back to this, the unfortunate thing about being in the top 20% is that you're stuck with 80% of the work. So, and the next upgrade from a senior is a fellow member. By ASQ's policies, we could probably enable up to 45 to 50 new senior members to become fellow members. Unfortunately, we've never hit close to that amount, especially in the last 3-4 years. It's less than 10 a year. So I think there's opportunities that if more people knew about this and knew to pursue it, you would see the number of fellows grow. And it's very good. I found out, I guess, Vic got his fellow. I'm very happy to hear that. I've known Vic for a number of years. He's one of these very high visible individuals that typifies what a fellow should be. So someone who's contributed across different forms in their career within ASQ, as an author, as an instructor, and in other organizations as well. So it's that's merit based on this, and the fellows all. It's almost like there's a. I don't want to call it a yearbook, but we are informed who the new fellows are and contact information. We try to network with each other, and in turn, it's exposed me to, by being a fellow, it's exposed me to others who are also fellows, and makes them, as a networking opportunity, it's quite remarkable. And not that being a fellow is a guarantee, but the pursuit of a fellow, I think, is worthwhile for your career because it's scored incrementally as you do something that notches you up higher in a score. It's kind of a personal milestone. So let's say you want to speak, you speak at the section like ASQ Phoenix, and say, okay, I've done at the section level. Can I speak at the division level? And you do that. Can I speak at the regional level? Yes. And then, well, I think I'm good enough now. I can speak at a ASQ conference like the Lean Six Sigma or the World Conference. So these things don't happen overnight. They happen in stages, and once you get to a certain point, then something like fellow membership is very attainable. Recognitions. I'm chairing a committee, and actually the unfortunate thing, my task was easy this year because we didn't get any nominations. There are awards, recognitions, profiles at every level, and I think ASQ's done a very good job, particularly with the Rising Stars, to highlight the great work done by young people. And but also there are specific awards targeted if you have a good article or a book or an invention, if you do things, what you had in the breakout, the social activities, anything socially responsible, there's an award for that. um, awards if you're a good business leader, various there are criteria. Ultimately comes back to your own personal portfolio, but when you look at what you've done to get to the point by having affiliations and being active and involved, by having the qualifications, by meeting the criteria, these are very foundational things so that by the time you get recognitions, you've got a very robust personal portfolio to draw from. But it's not all about you. Ultimately, we're a membership organization. We win when we help others win. We help when we mentor others. And the highest level is when you can pull someone up and you can inspire someone else to reach their goals. I've got percentages in there, and that's my own estimates based on what I've been able to derive from the reports that are published by headquarters. So ultimately, a professional member has a 60% retention. That the good thing is that better than 50-50 chance they'll stick around, but it also, there's a lot of opportunity that if we don't do something to engage people at this level, then there's a good chance that if we don't lose them next year, we'll lose them in the next 3 years. So how do we stop this churn? And the way we stop it is we bring people up and advance them by having more affiliations, more chances to actually meet and engage peers, mentors, proteges, like-minded people, get involved in interesting projects, see things that they normally wouldn't see in their own community. And, a global organization being affiliated is quite remarkable. Qualifications. This is where you can get value, not just for the time and effort, but that it results in some sort of tangible incremental improvement. And so a lot of us are in ASQ while we have our day jobs. So if we can get a certification or a specialized credential while we're continuing to work, then we're not putting our earning on pause while we're bettering ourselves to open ourselves up for new opportunities. And then once you get into senior and fellow member, by the time you're here, people have bought in and are getting additional perks. So then if you want to go back to the hotel room analogy, now all of a sudden you're getting the hotel with the king size bed and the free breakfast and the, and the good balcony and the big bathtub, whatever is sets it apart from the standard rack rate room. So you're like, yeah, I'll keep staying at this level. And then by the time you're a fellow, one thing, and I don't know if they're going to revive this practice. So when at the world conferences before COVID hit, there used to be a Sunday luncheon. So before the conference would start, all the fellows would gather together and the new fellows would be introduced and presented with their certificate and their special pin with a nice blue sapphire stone in it and very prestigious lapel pin. And we'd have a very nice lunch, catered lunch that was, just a good exchange. And I was fortunate to be able to, before I became a fellow, I knew of these lunches. And I thought, well, I can't wait for the day when I get to join and be invited. So it is very much a perk, but it's more importantly are the relationships that you make with other fellows that, and in turn, that having this, being able to introduce myself as a fellow is also a differentiator. It's something that then people ask, well, what do you have to do to be a fellow? So it's a good way to tell the story. And ultimately, though, when you're in ASQ to help others, then the purpose becomes more. Bob opened up as a servant leader, and that's really servant leadership is being there to bring others along. Your satisfaction comes from the gains and the wins of others. So being here, and you almost imagine like a fishing rod pulling people up, a level at a time. So sustaining your gains. This comes back to personal portfolio, and you have to be somewhat selfish and opportunistic with this. If you if you do the work, but you let things lapse, then you lose the benefit of it. So it's very important to, as you do the work, to track your accomplishments in a timely manner so that you can, not just retain it for yourself, but also be a good personal example and show others what to do. And the last thing, paid to renew with ASQ. What I would say is, without going too much into the weeds on this, if ASQ will sell certifications to non-members, and non-members can renew their certifications if they've met the other qualifications. If you have one, then it's just a member discount on that. If you have two, then ASQ allows its members to synchronize. So it's a fixed at 2 or more, but if a non-member has 3 or 4 certifications, then they have to pay individually, so that the incremental savings goes up when you have more certifications. I currently have 7, and that's because not that I'm any smarter or anything. I went through a stretch. I wanted to I just got on a good momentum. You do the work to find an exam, and by the time you spent hours studying and you're getting in that mode, okay, bring on the next one and the next one. You just, that becomes a normal part of your life. So with 7 certifications, if I were to drop out of ASQ and renew them individually at over 100 US now, this is not a cheap thing. It's about $900. With a synchronized thing for those same 7, I pay a fixed fee, and I save every 3 years. The amount that I save every 3 years is more than what my membership dues cost. So that way I'm definitely paid to renew. And I've done the calculations. Once you're a senior member, by the time you get a free journal and you synchronize 2 certifications, you've recovered about over 90% of your dues. So you're getting that benefit. And I've pointed that out to headquarters as well. So say this from a transactional basis, it's a very good deal. So fluctuating membership, we have to work back to the grassroots. It's easier to retain the current members we have and to build them from word of mouth, from long-term satisfaction. It's so it stabilizes them, but also the most persuasive thing are not the ad campaigns, but testimonials, genuine, authentic testimonials from satisfied members who can point to say, well, since I've been in ASQ, I've got this benefit and it's had this positive impact. So then that can only happen when you build internally, and you have to build from all levels. One of the things is I work in a factory, combination engineering and manufacturing. The team, the quality manager wants his team members to have their certified quality technician. So that's where they are today. ASQ has to approach those. They shouldn't just say, oh, you're just a technician, here's your low level exam. They should say, we're going to have you for the next 20 years and work to build them up and map out their career journey, so that what they're getting today, if you fast forward 20 years from now, they themselves could be quality managers somewhere, or so really have a long-term view. That's how the ASQ is going to build and sustain itself. So coming back to Pareto's law, 80-20, if you look at the 80-20 rule, the senior members are not, the top 20% of professional members should be more than qualified to be senior members. So what that means is that any given year, there should be a lot more replenishment of our senior members. And this is good because the retention rates for seniors is substantially higher. Now, there are other reasons for this. There could be generational, cultural reasons, but the numbers don't lie. When you're at this really means that in a 60%, that's still, it's a 3-year span. 90%, it's closer to a 7-year span of a membership. So those extra 4 or 5 years being a member, that's good for involvement. I've been in for it'll be 25 years this year, so that's a lot of time. But it's, of those 25 years, over 20 has been as either a senior or a fellow member. So if people don't get up to senior, it's going to be a lot harder for them to sustain. So and this was in quality management division. We did campaign for more senior members. We put it out. And I think one of the things that we lose by being virtual is that personal mentorship, which is, I had people above me that were, encouraging me in this direction. And I think there's some face-to-face, that I'd like to see rebuilt in ASQ as well. But in the meantime, just as you have someone to remind you, hey, it's been 3 years, you need to recertify. We should have someone who proactively, in each section or division, we should have someone who proactively approaches the members, particularly those who are qualified, to say, I think you should look at upgrading your membership. You're eligible. So, and as Bob was kind enough to do this, he put out, to show, this is published by headquarters. And first of all, it's very impressive when you think about how the problems overall with COVID, it's tough times, but the fellows and the seniors have been loyal. So first of all, it's important to understand your core, work through your core, because that's who you can count on. That's who'll be there through thick and thin, and then build up that core from now this is still uses the full, and that's the headquarters report. It hasn't been updated, but the most active and vibrant and high potential professional members should be rewarded with this, with the perks of a senior member, but that's on them to initiate it. But more importantly, as you strengthen the core, that in turn will strengthen the member unit, whether it's a section or a division or a region. And so these member upgrades are very good for not just for the individual, but for the section, ultimately for the society. So to circle back, and as I take questions, I'll come back on any of these items. So what we can do today financially, 10-1, and that's based on their annual dues. 10-1 is very attainable if you start to really be opportunistic. I can't guarantee the future of what's available, but at the same time, we could be coming into breakthroughs. So increasing the affiliation, it's never been easier with our technology and internet virtual. You can join every as soon as they made it available, I joined every technical community because it's free. I don't do a lot with all of them, but you can find the ones who are most receptive and responsive. Getting the qualifications that helps you. So if you get a qualification that helps you get a better job, right there, that's something that's gets returned. Pursue your own upgrades, and that unlocks more benefits. Achieve recognitions. Again, it's the pursuit of recognitions. There's not an entitlement, but if you're fortunate enough to get ASQ fellow or one of the medals, ASQ will give you complimentary registration to the conference, and you get, it's a very good experience. And then the campaign for the senior members, it highlights, okay, someone who's in there. It's good, just a good talking point that people who are in, do you like what you have? Well, here's something more. And so it's a good incentive for people to stick around, to volunteer, to pursue curiosity. And you really see this, even if all you do is just the section, being a senior member is still pretty good. But if once you go to the conferences, you can see firsthand, oh, there are some events where you have to be this certain group or this certain level to partake in. And that creates a curiosity that stimulates more goals. Even if one of your goal is to be a speaker, this is something that I set out. I wanted to be a speaker at a conference. And then once I was able to do that, I realized it was something I enjoyed. Conference speakers also get complimentary registration, but more importantly, they get free coffee. There's a speaker lounge where they have the coffee and tea and sodas brought in and pastries, so you get free breakfast. And while everyone else is paying $8 at the Starbucks, you're sitting there having second helpings of whatever you're pouring yourself. So ultimately there's two things. It's transactional, so you can look at the math, you can say how much am I paying and what am I getting back, but more importantly, the emotional, the stature, how you perceive yourself, how others perceive you. I think in both of those cases, by pursuing ASQ as something as a something of incremental growth towards whatever it is you want to target, that is the way that you'll get the most out of your time and efforts and affiliation within the society. So I'm delighted to take questions, and I'll navigate back and forth to any slides if you have any questions.
So yeah, please, if anybody has a question, please unmute yourself, and or you can also choose to use the chat feature, and I will relate the a question or comment to Dan.
Daniel,
Hello.
I'm Andrew Doyle here. I'm a senior member myself, but I can't remember the steps. I had to fill out a form and I had to do all of this. But can you remind us again what the qualifications are for a senior member, so that we can promote it with other people who are just regular members? Since you pointed out there's no cost. And seemingly reasonably easy to jump up. My memory myself is that it was very easy.
It's on the website, so I'll go to that page. I'm hesitant to navigate while I've got the presentation open. So senior member upgrade, if you go to this link, and it will take you to the site. From memory, okay, 10 years professional experience. So first of all, within ASQ, you have to have been a professional member for a full year. So you can't come through the door and get it. So they want, one cycle basically of a full year of membership, 10 years professional experience. And then there's kind of a checklist of how you want to distinguish yourself, whether it's through work, study. One of the items is having a renewable ASQ certification. And in my case, I had that, so that enabled me to qualify. And it's self-verification. So it's, you're trusting. ASQ has a code of ethics as well. So they're drawing from your integrity on your self-declaration.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a question, comment about ASQ membership? So just from personal experience, I would encourage all of you, excuse me, to check with your employer, your HR department, whatever, and see if your employer actually recognizes the benefits of ASQ as far as helping you in your career advancement. Again, I work for 3M, and 3M is very active with ASQ. I mean, we're an enterprise member. All 100,000 employees of 3M have access to ASQ electronic content. 3M pays for all of its employees who want to be a member of sections and divisions. As an organizational member, you have access to 100% of ASQ's electronic content. Over and above that, if you say you're already an individual member or a senior member and you want to retain that status, so if you drop back to just the organizational member, you lose your senior status because you would start over from zero again. But 3M, what it does is it encourages people who have some history with ASQ to continue that. So you can actually combine your professional membership with ASQ's organizational membership. And now you have access to 100% of ASQ, every division, every section, things that only organizational members get. So it's the best of both worlds. And what's kind of different about 3M, I think, as opposed to people I've talked to, 3M HR recommends different levels of ASQ involvement as you advance in your career. In fact, it's more than recommend. As an example, as a engineer coming straight from college, let's say you're fresh out of school, you're joining 3M, you're moving into quality. There are no expectations. 3M doesn't require any type of professional affiliation at that point. But now, if you want to make the next step from career-wise from an engineer to what we call advanced engineer, that'd be kind of level 2, membership in ASQ is actually recommended. So if 3M has several candidates to move to the advanced level of engineer, those who have ASQ membership are going to be looked more favorably. And then as you advance to the third tier, what 3M calls a senior quality engineer, Now it's more than just recommended, it's actually preferred. So you get a leg up on the competition. And if you want to move beyond that to what 3M calls a quality specialist, this is like almost being a middle manager within 3M. You can be a specialist on the technical side. So 3M has this concept of a dual ladder. You can be technical, or you can move over to management side. If you wish to stay in the technical side, your title is a specialist. Now, to be considered a specialist, you must have ASQ membership. It's a requirement. So 3M obviously pays for you to be a member. Then if you want to go to the next level, it's called a senior specialist, which is equivalent to a division scientist, okay, like the highest level, next to the second highest level on the technical ladder. A senior specialist, 3M, you must be at least a senior member of ASQ, if not a fellow. And if you wish to go to the level beyond that, which is like a corporate scientist, or almost equivalent to a vice president on the management level, you have to be not only an ASQ member, not only a senior fellow, but when I left 3M, you had to be a member leader of a section or division, or have that experience. You don't have to have it as a current role, but if you had served previously. So that's an example of how 3M, as one company, not only recognizes the impact of ASQ participation on its employees, actually helps to nurture and create and sponsor that advancement. So it's a win-win. I mean, it's a win personally for the employee, it's a win for the company, it's a win for ASQ. So I would just encourage all of you to check to see, does your employer offer any type of special recognition or advantages or preferences as you move up the career ladder? And as Dan was saying, why that's important to sections and divisions, but since we are the Phoenix section, going to be talking about that, is that we're able to fund our activities through allotments. This is a percentage of the membership dues. So the more members we have, the greater allotments we have, which that's basically our revenue stream to fund all the other activities. Now, true, our program meetings are free, but when we have face-to-face meetings, we like to serve hors d'oeuvres, some food. We may have to rent facilities. So there are certain expenses to pay. And of course, we offer short courses and webinars. They may be for an additional fee. Again, that's to help increase our revenue stream so we can do more things to be more engaging with our members. So the section looks to grow because we need to form a stronger community, and we can only do that through offering more products and services. So we're looking for our members, to improve their retention and or to bring more people into the section. Really helps us to grow as a member unit, to grow our impact and our reach. One of our strategies for this year, we're going to be mapping out some tactics that we can use to create visibility amongst the C-suite of the larger employers in the Phoenix area. So once they are more recognize what ASQ and the Phoenix section does and how we can help them to achieve their strategic growth initiatives, then we can help hopefully grow our section that way too. And in fact, in all transparency, if any of you are interested in joining our committee, our leadership committee, I invite you to participate in our annual planning review meeting, which is coming up this Saturday. It's Saturday from 9 to 11 a.m. It'll be done via Zoom. All of our member leaders will be gathering to go through the plan that we drafted last September for this year. We had to draft the plan and submit it to ASQ by the end of September of last year for this year. But now that this year is here, we want to continually revise it put more meat on the bone, so to speak, flesh out what are the specific tactics we're going to do. So if you would like to gain some experience, well, what is this committee? What do they really do? How do they work? Might I be interested in joining them? Here's a perfect opportunity, an open invitation. Come and participate with our membership team to our planning session. If you're interested, just send me an email or give me a call, a text, and I will send you the Zoom link so you can participate. We would encourage participation. We want to hear from our members. You know, are some of our ideas not going to work, or you think, yeah, that's going to hit the mark, maybe we're missing something, and you can introduce some new ideas. So we welcome your involvement and participation. So that's an open invitation to all of our members. If you have the time and interest, give me a jingle and I'll shoot you the Zoom link. Any other questions for our guest speaker tonight? Anybody?
Hi.
Hi. Hi, Gina.
My Gina, I'm from Toronto, Canada. Can we have the copy of this presentation after the meeting?
Sure. In fact, the presentation, and we're recording it, so the video presentation will also be available on our My ASQ site. So if you navigate to my.asq.org, you log in with your ASQ credentials. You can just look through the communities and find the Phoenix section. And there's both a news post which talks about the presentation, and there's a link in there to get to the actual slide deck. You can also find the slide deck by just going into the Files tab of the ASQ Phoenix section site. And probably in a day or two, we'll have this Zoom presentation recording also posted to that site. So
Okay.
the presentation is available now, and the video will be ready in a couple days.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your interest. All right, well, Dan, I want to thank you for your time. And it was a very, very good discussion talking about the benefits of advancement through ASQ and how it basically pays for itself. And I appreciate your energy and commitment to the society and to all of the community professions. So
Thank
on
you.
behalf of Vic and the team, thank you very much for the presentation. I just have a couple closing comments, and then we'll let you go for the evening. So just in a wrap up, where are we going here? There we go. Just a reminder that following this meeting, whether it's tonight yet or tomorrow morning, you should be receiving an email from John Lindland. He is our Voice of Customer Chair. In that email will be a link to take an event survey. We do request your feedback, what worked, what didn't work, any ideas or suggestions for future topics, whether you might be willing to become involved. And also there will be the RU certificate attached. So be looking for that email. Future programs, we've got the balance of the first half of the year on the deck here. So if you kind of put that in your schedule, next month, March 10th, the second Thursday of March, we will have Mr. Steven Zylstra. He is the president and CEO of the Arizona Technology Council. That Technology Council sponsors a lot of activities, publications, awards. In fact, right now they have a call for judges. They're looking for people who might be interested in judging for Teacher of the Year. This would be for high school and graduate. Teacher of the Year with a focus on innovation. and then also a future innovator of the year. That could be a student or a teacher. So they're looking for judges. You can go to the AZ Technology Council, click on their website for more information. But he's going to be talking about the opportunity for alliances between the council and our section. So a great talk, and looking forward to possible allied activities. Then in April, we'll have Austin Lynn. Perhaps some of you will recognize that name as a past president of ASQ. They'll be talking about talent development. And then in May, Tina Augustiati, who is the vice president of lean training with JP Morgan, will be talking about change management. Always a good refresher topic, and interesting to get some new perspectives, in this case from the finance industry. And then in June, we have Stephen Bonacorsi, who is the president of the International Society of Lean Six Sigma. And he's going to be talking to us, illustrating the importance of getting those quick wins, really a close link with change management. If you want to implement some type of change, the best way is to look for those quick wins to build the momentum and energy and enthusiasm, and things start rocking and rolling from there. So I think we have a very good collection of interesting speakers and topics coming up in the coming months. And I want to extend our thanks to Vic for another excellent job in the program area. And just a reminder, we are out on social media. We're looking to interact with our members in whatever platform they're using, whether that's Facebook or Instagram. Of course, we have our group on LinkedIn, more of a professional society focused. We do have a Twitter account if you'd like to, hear some feeds from us on a frequent basis, up and coming events or retweets from other sections, other divisions. Another great way to learn what's going on in the world of ASQ. We specifically look for other sections and divisions to retweet. And then we do have a YouTube channel. Quite honestly, it's easier just to go to our My ASQ and click on the videos link, and that'll take you right to our YouTube page. So in addition to our Sundial and My ASQ, we have all these other platforms to try and become a larger part of your professional experience. So please give us a call. And again, I want to thank you for your time and patience. And I hope you had a good learning experience this evening. Remember to mail back that satisfaction survey, and we'll see you next month. Thank you, everybody.